By the end of this, you'll understand not just how Palpatine killed his master, but why that moment changed the fate of the Sith forever. And buried in that night is a detail that means that the dark side itself could have made a catastrophic mistake. The night the plan was supposed to be complete. This all happens on the night before Palpatine's election as Supreme Chancellor, when everything the Sith have worked toward for 1,000 years finally looks secure. Darth Plagueis believes the Grand Plan is essentially finished. The Republic is about to place its future in the hands of the apprentice, and Plagueis fully intends to step out of the shadows as an unseen co-chancellor, quietly approving or denying policy while continuing his research into immortality. Palpatine, however, has already decided this cannot happen. Sharing power would raise suspicion, undermine his authority, and leave him forever constrained by a master who no longer serves his ambitions. So when Plagueis dismisses his Sun Guard and retires to his penthouse suite with Palpatine and the droid 11-4D, Palpatine knows this is the final loose end. They drink Celestin wine together while Palpatine rehearses his acceptance speech for the Senate, even praising Plagueis publicly in drafts as one of the invisible beings who preserved the Republic. On the surface, it looks like gratitude and respect. In reality, he is lowering his master's guard, and this is where things start to slip for Plagueis. How Palpatine actually killed him. Plagueis is intoxicated deliberately. When he tries to stop drinking, Palpatine pressures him to continue, pushing his immune physiology past its limits. Eventually, Plagueis falls into a deep, alcohol-induced sleep. A point that is often overlooked is the fact that at first, Palpatine actually tried to leave. As he turns away, the dark side calls out to him. The moment demands completion. Palpatine obeys. He attacks Plagueis with Force Lightning, deliberately targeting his transpirator mask. The lightning shorts it out, waking Plagueis and condemning him at the same time. Deprived of oxygen, disorientated, and heavily intoxicated, Plagueis tries to fight back. He even manages to summon a small atmospheric disturbance, a last defensive reflex from one of the most powerful Sith who ever lived. But his body fails him. He collapses back onto the couch, unable to stand. Palpatine continues the lightning, without restraint. He mocks Plagueis, ridicules him, and dismantles the master-apprentice relationship piece by piece, revealing that he has been manipulating Plagueis for years, while allowing him to believe the Grand Plan was his own creation. Plagueis suffocates. The Sith who believed he had conquered death dies exactly as he feared he never would. When it ends, a violent surge of darkside energy ripples across Coruscant and knocks Palpatine unconscious. Plagueis' body does not vanish. There is no transcendence, only silence. Gratitude in the middle of murder. One of the most disturbing elements from this betrayal comes from a side from Palpatine that we rarely ever see. While killing Plagueis, Palpatine thanks him, not sarcastically, not mockingly, but sincerely. He acknowledges the teachings, the knowledge, and the path Plagueis gave him. At the same time, he accuses Plagueis of corrupting a confused boy and manipulating him into murdering his family, folding genuine trauma into cruelty without hesitation. This is not conflict or regret. Palpatine is capable of gratitude and absolute betrayal in the same breath. This shows exactly what type of Sith he's going to become. Not emotional, not impulsive, but completely integrated in self-interest. In that moment, Palpatine proclaims himself the Sithari, the fulfillment of Sith prophecy. The darkside responds with a massive shift in the Force, which he interprets as confirmation, until he felt something else happen, the Uneasy Victory. Almost immediately after his triumph, Palpatine senses another presence, something larger, something that dulls the edge of his victory instead of sharpening it. He cannot identify it. He briefly considers whether Plagueis is reaching out from death, or whether it is simply the aftershock of his own ascension. He dismisses both explanations, but the feeling remains. Why the dark side may have been wrong. This entire event exists in Legends canon, primarily from the novel Darth Plagueis by James Luceno, And within that context, Darth Plagueis provides something that no Sith before or after him ever achieved. He was closer to functional immortality than anyone else in Sith history. His mastery of midichlorian manipulation was real, repeatable, and advancing. His research had already begun altering the balance of the Force itself. More importantly, Plagueis had information that Palpatine did not. Plagueis had foreseen Anakin Skywalker's transformation into Darth Vader and understood what that future represented. He recognised that allowing Anakin to exist would destabilise the Sith's long-term control. That knowledge dies with him. Palpatine destroys Plagueis' breathing apparatus, not his body. Without that failure, survival is not impossible, and with survival comes continued research, foresight, and restraint that Palpatine never possessed. If the dark side truly compelled Palpatine to act, then it eliminated the one Sith who understood how dangerous their future could become, the rule of one and the cost of fear. After Plagueis' death, Palpatine reshapes Sith doctrine entirely. He abandons Bane's tradition in favour of the rule of one, where apprentices exist only as tools and information is tightly controlled. Palpatine vows never to sleep unguarded, never to allow vulnerability, never to let an apprentice know enough to threaten him, and in doing so, he ensures that no Sith will ever again reach the depth of understanding Plagueis achieved. Power becomes centralised, stagnant, and ultimately fragile. The Sith rule the galaxy, but only briefly. The death of Plagueis removes the future the Sith were building toward, even as it secures their greatest short-term victory, the quiet tragedy of Sith success. Palpatine lives believing he has conquered destiny, but the dark side does not correct its own errors. It only accelerates them. The night Darth Plagueis died did not only end a master-apprentice relationship, it severed the Sith's truest approach to foresight, stability, and immortality. And once you understand that, it becomes clear why the Empire burns so bright and collapses so completely. Let me know in the comments what you think. Was Palpatine right to kill Darth Plagueis? If you're enjoying these videos, hit subscribe and let's uncover the galaxy's greatest secrets together. Thanks for watching.